Donald Trump is just admitting through his emissaries, through his spokeswoman here, that he isn't the president of everyone. He's only the president of MAGA. He's only the president of those who agree with his agenda. Right now, without equivocation at all, we are witnessing all-out assault in this country. War declarations on blue cities in blue states by red troops and Donald Trump. That's what we're witnessing. But we're also witnessing another kind of assault, another kind of direct attack on blue cities, blue states, Democratic voters, people who chose not to vote for Donald Trump for very real and valid reasons. And that is through the itemization, the priorities that we make relative to what we spend money on in this country. And Donald Trump is now weaponizing this current budget battle to rescind funds that go to blue states. And Karoline Leavitt was asked about this. And I'm going to play a brief snippet from her interview where she's kind of pressed about this on Fox News. But before I do, I want to read a headline and 2 paragraphs to set the stage. This is from the New Republic. Karoline Leavitt says it's okay to target Americans repped by Democrats. The White House press secretary sees no problem with targeting Americans in the government shutdown. The Trump administration is doubling down on its shutdown ultimatum to Democrats. Surrender to our backward austerity bill, or we'll rip more funding and resources from the hands of your constituents. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt was asked Thursday about Trump's promise to work with Office of Management and Budget Director and Project 2025 architect Russell Vought to axe so-called Democrat agencies in the government. Is that real? A Fox News host asked Leavitt, or is that a negotiating tactic? And here, here is her answer to that question and the exchange that preceded it and that followed.
So on that, I wanted to ask you about that because he mentioned Russ Vought in that. I think that came out about 8 o'clock this morning about cutting certain programs that they deem are not necessary. Is that real or is that a negotiating tactic?
Oh, it's very real. And the Democrats should know that they put the White House and the president in this position. And if they don't want further harm on their constituents back home, then they need to reopen the government. It's very simple. Pass the clean continuing resolution, and all of this goes away. We would not be having these discussions here at the White House today if not for the Democrats voting to shut the government down. This is an unfortunate consequence, and the president and Russ Vought will be meeting on that later today.
There's a whole bunch here. One, they're falling into the trap that so many people do. They're not falling into it. They want this trap to be out there in the ether. That if let's say California, for instance, they're going to punish California and California voters, not fully realizing, I think they do realize it, but I'm using kind of nebulous language here, inaccurate language here, not fully recognizing, we'll say publicly recognizing that there are millions and millions and millions of Republican voters in California who voted for Donald Trump, who will be harmed because Donald Trump is now punishing the radical left Democrats. There are all kinds of Democrats who live in Texas alongside Republicans. There are all kinds of Republicans who live in Massachusetts. So Donald Trump isn't just hurting blue voters. He's hurting Americans. And this is where this administration is different than even his first administration. Orders of magnitude worse is he views these states as binary. If he didn't win the state, it's all Democrats and they should be harmed. That's where the troops should be sent to declare war, to wage war, to train our troops how to murder, how to kill, how to be maximally lethal, as the Secretary of Defense, Pete Hegseth, says. There's another element too. Let me read this paragraph from the New Republic. This language from Karoline Leavitt that you just heard reads like a hostage letter, and it essentially is. The Trump administration has already frozen $18 billion in infrastructure projects in New Jersey and New York, and announced cuts to $8 billion in energy funding from 16 blue states as well. The limits of this wanton retribution are unclear, as the Trump administration seems giddy to do real harm to American citizens and communities represented by Democrats who refuse to silently fall in line. And that is exactly what she just admitted to in that clip. That the Democrats are forcing our hand. We're forced to only hurt Democrats. They're forcing us to do this. This is like an abusive relationship kind of language, like domestic violence language. Like, oh, you made me do it. You made me do it. You made me ruin things. You made me stop funding for veterans. You made me stop funding for hungry kids and sick people. You made me take away millions of people's health care. You made me increase the premiums of people's health care by threefold. You made me do it. Because Democrats don't want to take part in advancing the agenda of Donald Trump. Or at least all but two in the Senate chose not to advance the agenda of Donald Trump. There's going to be pain if they agree. There's going to be pain if we don't agree. Donald Trump is making certain of that. And why, pray tell, would we choose to enjoin ourselves with Donald Trump's destructive agenda? Why would we take part in funding a government that's kidnapping people, disappearing people, arresting citizens, detaining citizens in handcuffs, zip tying vanfuls of naked children from their apartments, zip tying them, detaining them while everyone's papers are looked through? Who's a citizen? You have to prove it. Why would Democrats take part in that? I can tell you this, I would be screaming from the rooftops, or if this is a rooftop, I would be calling out Democrat after Democrat after Democrat if they joined Donald Trump in funding that kind of nonsense, like I do every day, complaining about the complicity of certain Democrats in our party. This is disgusting. This is an assault on the very nature of our politics in this country. Donald Trump is just admitting through his emissaries, through his spokeswoman here, that he isn't the president of everyone. He's only the president of MAGA. He's only the president of those who agree with his agenda. Because if you don't, you're subject to arrest. If you don't, you're subject to firing. If you don't, you're subject to expulsion from the country, or being denaturalized, or having your citizenship revoked, or whatever other fascist fucking nonsense he's trying to put out there. Good on the Democrats. Do not bend. Do not break. Do not carry water for the agenda of this fascist president, or there will be political consequences. What do you think? I invite you to this conversation. We can have it in the comments below the video, wherever you're watching it. Speaking of that, make sure that you are, wherever you're watching this content, that you like and follow the Facebook page, Dollemore Daily, and that you subscribe, which is free. Subscribe on YouTube. I would appreciate it very much. We're getting real close to 1.5 million subscribers. We're at 1.22 million right now. We're getting down to I'm counting the other digit, 1.22 million. And with your help, we can get to 1.5 million and then beyond. I would appreciate it very much. You can comment below. You can also call the voicemail line 714-576-4054. And of course, as always, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. I love and appreciate you very much. I will see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.